Hello, my name is James Stull, and welcome to my presentation on Pear Deck. What is Pear Deck? Well, Pear Deck is an interactive add-on that engages all of your students and works with your Google Suites or Google Slides. So basically, it allows your students to interact in class, that talk, to answer questions on their computers. And we all know that they love to be on their computers. It really, really helps with interactive learning. So then, what is interactive learning? Scott Freeman of the National Academy of Science says, active learning engages students in the process of learning through activities and or discussions in class, as opposed to passively listening to an expert or regular lecture. It really emphasizes higher order thinking and often involves group work. Pear Deck also really helps you with assessing your students throughout the lesson, not just at the end, but throughout the lesson. And it really gives you a lot or good sense of what the whole class knows, not just what one person knows when they're answering those questions. So why is interactive learning so important? As you can see, students in a regular lecture class are 1.5 times more likely to fail compared to students in an active learning class. In an active learning class, only 22% of the people failed the class. When it was changed to a regular lecture class, 34% of the students failed, which is a big deal. That's a huge percentage as a teacher. Also, students in an active learning class outperformed students in a lecture class by 6 percentage points. That's amazing. That's huge. If you think about it, a student with a, let's say, 77% or a upper C can end up with a middle B just by the teacher changing it from an active learning class to a lecture class. So what do we need to use or need to have to use Pear Deck? It works seamlessly with G Suites. So your Google Slides really is what you need. It is 100% web-based, so there's no downloading or no updates required. It does not, however, work with Microsoft Office or PowerPoint. We all know how easy it is to be able to upload your PowerPoint to a Google slide. It's not very difficult. So here's a short little video that explains a little bit more about Pear Deck.
Pear Deck will change the way you present slide decks in a live classroom setting. When you hit Start Presenting in Pear Deck, you're creating a live session for participants to join on their own computer, tablet, or smartphone. As the instructor, you control the flow of the presentation from your computer or tablet. On their devices, participants can respond to your pre-planned or impromptu questions throughout the presentation with a number of unique interaction types. Those responses can then be shared anonymously and in real time on your classroom projector or interactive whiteboard. From your device, you can isolate individual answers, toggle responses, and even do cool things like overlay all of the drawings your students have shared. Let's walk through a session to find out how.
Okay, so what is the session that they're talking about? Basically, it starts by you or the teacher creating a slideshow or your Google Slides. From there, during your creation of the slides or at the end after you've created them, you basically need to upload your Pear Deck. It comes up. You can see in the upper right-hand screen, on the right-hand side of that screen, is where Pear Deck ends up coming up. From there, within your slides, you can choose different types of answers, whether true, false, or short answer, or drawing a graph, or putting a dot on the map to locate where Charleston, South Carolina is, or drawing what a cell looks like. After you've created that and embedded those slides into your slideshow, you create a session, or the teacher creates a session, which comes up with session ID. From there, the students log on to Pear Deck, type in your code, and your slide presentation starts. From here, this is what's amazing, is that this teacher actually controls what the students are seeing and what slides they're seeing. We all have those students that kind of lag behind and slack, and they're not quite caught up, or they're daydreaming and end up losing themselves. Or we also have those students that end up zooming ahead and getting way, 3 or 4 slides ahead and answering the questions because they have to be first done. That doesn't happen here with Pear Deck. The teacher is the one that controls how fast you go. You can put a timer on to allow the students to know exactly how long you're going to be answering that question. You can pause the screen. You can, like the little video just said, you can put up the answers to the students, or one person's answer. It's a pretty amazing software. Here's another short little video that goes with both the student view and the teacher view.
Let's take a quick look at how Pear Deck makes learning active for all students. In Pear Deck, there's a projector view and a student view. Students have the ability to type in answers, draw, and more. From the projector view, all answers will be displayed without student names attached. Teachers can go back later to get that information. Here's an example of a timed warm-up. Set the timer for 30 seconds. Students can drag the dot on their map to places that they've traveled over the summer. Taking a look from the projector view, we can see where all the students are placing their dots and have a conversation. We can also switch the views so that we can see each student one at a time. When we go over to the teacher dashboard, then we see the names attached. That can be reviewed by the teacher later. As students are responding, we see their answers in real time. As they're typing, we can see that work. If one student is confused, they can honestly respond and give you the information that you need as a teacher without them being called out in front of all their classmates. In addition to typing responses, you can sketch out graphs or anything you want, really, drawing with your mouse. And then Pear Deck has some built-in slides to encourage critical thinking, to have students make connections. Quick temperature checks are a great way to see how all students in the classroom are feeling and how you should proceed. At the end of the lesson, encourage students to reflect and summarize their learning. Pear Deck has a variety of prompts to choose from to help encourage this type of thinking. Again, after class, you can easily go back to your teacher dashboard to see how each individual student is responding. But in the classroom, you will be projecting responses without names attached. Finally, when you end the session, you can publish student takeaways that generates a Google Doc for each individual student, leaving them space to take notes. Also, they get a copy of each slide and the response that they gave. This is further a great way for them to reflect, and also for them to have the ability to go back and look on prior work when studying. And that's it. That's a quick overview of what running a live session of Pear Deck looks like.
So as you can see, Pear Deck is pretty amazing. It really gets the students involved in the classroom. I've now used it in my class 3 or 4 times, and every time that I've used it, the kids have basically begged, let's use it again, let's use it again. So more and more of my presentations, or my, not necessarily lectures, but my interactive lessons are with Pear Deck, so that, like it said, I know what the students know. I can find out how they're feeling about the subject, and I can really dive into whether or not they understand the material. So Pear Deck also has a couple of other little things. As you can see, some of the add-ons that they have is the flashcard factory, which is amazing. You can assign vocabulary for the students. They can look up and put the different definitions. And it can also do a full picture draw a picture of whatever that might be. For instance, you can see, I believe that's an amoeba. So it has a definition of amoeba, and then it has the organism with the different parts. So the other add-on that you get with Pear Deck is it's called Power Up, which is able to throw in and use videos and animations and GIFs, so that to make your presentation a little more lively, a little more interactive for the kids. So I really hope that you enjoyed learning about Pear Deck, and I, like I said, use it quite often, and it's really amazing. So I hope, like I said, that you enjoyed this, and here's a little bit more information, additional readings and things on formative assessments, inquiry-based learning, and active learning. If you want to learn more about that, down here at the bottom, I believe right here, the active learning in a higher grade and fewer failing students in science, math, and engineering is definitely a great article for you to read. So let's wrap things up. Here are my references that I used on this presentation. And if you have any questions, please send me an email, and I will be happy to answer any of the questions that you have on Pear Deck. Thank you very much, and we will be talking to you soon.